What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Monday. If you see any scam ads on this video, please do not participate in those. We're going to be going over this market correction a little bit here. We're going to be going over XRP price, also the inconsistency in the market and kind of the things that pump during certain announcements here, trying to withhold against the receding of the tide as far as the market is concerned, as well as backed going public, etc., etc. All right, so first and foremost, we know we had a massive dump today. So Bitcoin dumped all the way down to like $29,958, somewhere around there, give or take. This is nothing new. I am not concerned about this whatsoever. Now, what I am looking for, and we've done this in the past, very much so. If you look at the previous actual bull run, we touched base on the 21 EMA multiple times. We actually broke through and held support on the 50 EMA. And then actually we broke below twice too. 1, 2. This is after breaking all-time high. This little straight horizontal line here is us breaking all-time high back in March of 2017. This little horizontal line here is us breaking all-time high in December 2020. Where we are at in this, at least in my imagination, would be potentially right here. Maybe like the June of 2017 type price increase, somewhat unsustainable. And then you got to give it a few weeks to consolidate, potentially correct down, and then hopefully we have another leg up here for the entire market. But altcoins obviously are getting slaughtered across the board right now. There are some coins that are maintaining their stance in this market, but you know, we'll see where that ends up in the next couple of weeks as well. We may have another leg up with some alts soon too. That's on the daily time frame. If you look at the weekly, same thing here. I mean, last time we broke. Now, the weekly is more so what I'm paying attention to. You've got the 21 EMA, which really needs to catch up to price action right now. I stated this in previous videos. You know, we can't consistently rise above this without touching off on, touching off on this as support. We haven't done so yet, since, man, it's been like September of 2020, October of 2020, somewhere around that time frame. So if we look at breaking the previous all-time high, we touched off March, and then the next time we touched was July. So 2 months. We've gone way more months than that. We've gotten close, but you know, it is what it is right now, ladies and gentlemen. We've been waiting for this. It just sucks because, you know, like even me personally, I got wrecked a little bit. I bought into Kava like a day or two ago. And you know, I'm trying to not get bit by the bull bug, but I think that this is going to be a correction that takes us maybe into February, close to Valentine's Day, maybe a little bit earlier. I could be completely wrong about that as well. I do want to see a correction though, because I want to see a continued rise in price, because I don't hold Bitcoin, as many of you may know. I hold quite a few different digital assets, but I do not hold Bitcoin. And I think that this is going, assuming that this pans out the way that it has in the past, hopefully a healthy correction to give us our next leg up. And we're probably going to have 1 or 2 more legs up, and then our real blow off top, which will be more concerning to probably all of us. As far as XRP is concerned, we are actually higher than when the SEC news came out about them suing Ripple for XRP potentially being a security after 7 years of meeting with Ripple, etc., etc. This is the bottom that we hit here after that news. This was 28th of December. You can see that we rose above. This is this base trend line here that goes all the way back into 2014. We are riding strongly against that base trend line here. So we're actually, you know, I don't know why people were freaking out. I'm sure many in the XRP community, this is just like another day in the park. But yeah, this has been the base trend line I've been watching. I've also been watching this trend line here, which is from the top of the previous bull run. Actually, maybe not the top, but, you know, multiple lines touching off as resistance after we were in the bear market. Extend that trend line down, which we did something similar in 2017. these are things that I'm watching. I'm not a technical analyst. I'm going to try to start getting into fib retracement levels, et cetera, just to, you know, maybe learn a little bit more for myself here. But I'm watching larger trends, and you really don't need to be the most ridiculous analyst to, you know, to sit back and try to watch some of these large trends happening. They're much easier to pay attention to. I don't swing trade. I don't day trade. I don't buy in and sell out of something else to try to catch pumps. I do try to catch pumps from investments, and I will potentially sell those if I've made enough of my investment, but I don't trade to do so. All right, moving forward here. Binance partners with Orbs blockchain to launch a DeFi accelerator. And Binance has partnered with multiple different things, their launchpad, etc. So this is just an example of something clinging on for dear life during a correction. This is Orbs. I will definitely be looking a little bit more into Orbs. It's a newer project, 2019. We saw parabolic rises out of some of these that came about in 2019. I have not personally looked into Orbs yet, so I will definitely be doing so. But, you know, these sustainability as far as price, whenever these corrections occur, I got most of my XRP whenever it was holding. Actually, I don't want to say most. I got into XRP really when it was at like 90 or 80 cents. And I forget when that was. I think it was late 2019 or so. And everybody was saying XRP price is holding up much more so than, you know, Bitcoin prices, et cetera, et cetera. And obviously, we know what happened after that. So I'll be paying attention to Orbs and seeing where that's going. I posted a couple of other things. I did a deep dive on the Interwork Alliance to an extent today. It's just interesting to see even some of the main partners of that. Like if you're not aware of what the Interwork Alliance is, it's DTCC, Accenture. You've got, I think, Microsoft in there. But, you know, all of these little segregated blockchain alliances that come about, like all the partners in them are basically interwove within each other, which is just crazy to me. I did find another one in there that I was not necessarily as much aware of, but it looks like an institutional based or an institutionally geared privacy project. And I'm not a huge fan of privacy coins, but that one did pique my interest. All right, Backed. This is gigantic news. The digital asset marketplace launched by Intercontinental Exchange in 2018 is going public via a merger with VPC Impact Acquisition Holdings. So combined company valued in an enterprise value of approximately $2.1 billion. And if I'm not mistaken, Backed was still like in the beta mode. Like it hasn't even rolled out its full platform yet. It's just crazy that the valuation is going to be $2.1 billion when this goes public. We know that Coinbase has stated that they're going to be doing the same thing. All right, moving on. And this is going to be a quicker video. This is Bank of England. Let's talk about negative interest rates on January 11, 2021. And as some of you that follow some of the conspiracy-based stuff, the talk is that London is ready, and that's fine. I don't really necessarily buy into all of that, but I do find verbiage interesting quite often. This is from January 7th when I was taking a little bit of a break. This is the end of last week. I think this was last Thursday. Why central banks need new tools for dealing with market dysfunction. This is a speech by Andrew Hauser. And I just thought that this was the interesting portion of this. The verbiology in from lender of last resort to market maker of last resort via the dash for cash. Why central banks need new tools for dealing with market dysfunction. They don't directly go into anything about blockchain or distributed ledger technology in this, but we know the rhetoric with negative interest rates. We know what's going on as far as all of these banking institutions. It's just interesting to see how some of these things are rolling out. I believe that most of this goes digital, if not everything at some point in the near future. But yeah, lender of last resort to market maker of last resort via the dash for cash. So this was from Ripple. If you're not aware, they hired the VP of global delivery from Amazon, I believe, or the previous VP of, I think it's global delivery. From Amazon, accelerating financial inclusion through technology. This is from that individual. This is Devraj, I'm going to mispronounce this, Veradon. And January 11, 2021. I will read this maybe real quick. I believe that the technology, when built and scaled right, can have a profoundly positive impact on humanity and improve people's lives. In leading engineering teams at Amazon for 15 years, I witnessed firsthand customer-focused innovation at scale that provided people with core necessities essential to how they live. With the global pandemic, it has become more apparent that we are able to fulfill a critical role for communities around the world and help them feel secure during an uncertain time by delivering essentials to their doorsteps. When I consider the standout companies and industry leaders of the 21st century, it's hard not to think about the journey that enabled this scale and one of the key technological developments behind each of these stories, the internet. There are several parallels in Ripple's vision to building and enabling the internet of value, a world where money moves like information on the internet. By building the heavy lifting infrastructure, it has the potential to not only create new opportunities in business, but to impact billions of people and their daily lives. Just as the internet was the driving force behind many of today's leading companies, blockchain has the potential to fundamentally change our current financial system, and it is, and bring billions of unbanked people into the financial ecosystem and accelerate financial inclusion globally. You've heard my opinions on this in the past. I believe that banking the unbanked is a positive thing in the interim, but I believe, as we've seen with social media, etc., that once technology takes over, control inherently takes place. So I'm a little bit concerned in the medium to long term about this, but it's going to happen whether or not I'm concerned. Over the past several years, financial institutions have shifted their strategic focus to offering delightful customer experience as their keys to success. However, the current global payments infrastructure does not meet today's business or consumer demands. For instance, the cost of remittances remains high, and it underscores the gaps that exist in the current financial system where those who have the least often pay the most. Average fee to send $200 is $14. That is, to me, completely unacceptable in 2021. I can send you an email instantly for free. I can send you a text message. I pay my phone carrier, but for me, it's basically for free because I'm going to have a phone anyways, right? All right, for someone living on $200, putting that money back into their pocket isn't just an added bonus. It can be life-changing. 100% agreed. Ripple's financial network, RippleNet, and the RippleX open developer platform unlock the power of blockchain and digital asset technology, allowing financial institutions, startups, founders, and entrepreneurs to dramatically improve the speed, cost, and reliability of how people transact around the world. All right, now I'm not going to read this entire thing. There's a lot there, but you can take a read for this yourself. This is on Ripple's Insights. Last but not least, looks like a little bit of a debate going back and forth between David Schwartz and a VentureCoin. This is VentureCoin's founder. Tackle the utility of fourth largest cryptocurrency. Just more rhetoric here. This is interesting. I asked David Schwartz what XRP is useful for because it did not make sense to me, and his response didn't make sense to me either. Well, I would state that many XRP holders and many digital asset holders that don't even necessarily hold XRP but believe that utility will be king one day don't understand what the use case of Bitcoin is at this point. I do believe that it has speculative value that's been proven. Otherwise, it wouldn't have exploded in price. But stating that it is a store of value to me is nonsense, because that store of value rhetoric, and this is just me talking, completely goes out the window when it becomes usurped by something that has more utility. Then that store of value rhetoric, transitions to that asset because it's the most liquid asset. It will probably be the most stable during market corrections, and we'll see where this goes. I think the utility is always key, though. Really, it's going to be the digital asset or the blockchain company that utilizes a digital asset or tokenizes something or has a platform out there where people don't even realize that they're utilizing the technology. It needs to be something that appears to be magic to the every person. So these are the things that I'm looking for. Yeah, Bitcoin certainly appears to be magic if you're in 2010, 2011, 2009, just utilizing it. Probably groundbreaking and revolutionary, right? But technology always gets usurped by greater and better and more efficient technology, and that will not be the exception. So, Bitcoin won't be the exception to history. If it's for payments, stablecoins are better. Okay, I disagree with this too, and David Schwartz touches base on this a little bit. Even if you think it's better for payments, there is no incentive to hold, no store of value or income generating. In response, Schwartz says he doubts that a single stablecoin will be widely adopted on a global scale. And this is a no-brainer to me. We can see this because we have multiple somewhat quasi-interoperable blockchain platforms out there, like Hyperledger. We have Corda. We've got, Alastria is like one of those ones with the USDC. You've got multiple different blockchain platforms, Finality. But none of them are necessarily going to, they can interoperate, but it does not necessarily mean that they will. And when you take into account different political ongoings across the globe, I don't want to say geopolitical, but I just did because somebody just said if one more XRP community member says geopolitical, I'll lose my mind. But if you really think that some of these nations that do not have corresponding relationships with other nations are going to just have one global interoperable stablecoin, I'm sorry, you're wrong. You're going to have semi and quasi walled gardens that are still going to exist even in the Internet of Value. And you're going to need something, in my opinion, that bridges data. You're going to need something, in my opinion, that bridges on a financial scale as well. Something like XRP, a neutral bridge asset that can fulfill currency swaps, etc., between stablecoins in particular. So we'll see where this goes. I mean, it is what it is. In order, this is David. In order to exchange one stablecoin for another, he believes a digital bridge currency such as XRP will be necessary. If the whole world settled on one stablecoin, I'd agree with you, but stablecoins are always going to be tied to jurisdictions and counterparties too. So it is unlikely one winner will emerge. All right, if you want to read this article, you can definitely check this out. This is on the Daily Hodl. Occasionally, they put out decent news. I didn't catch this conversation with David Schwartz and this individual. This is venture coinist founder Luke Martin. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If we see more news tomorrow, I will certainly present it. And yeah, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you happen to be. Later.